One more time. Okay, here we go. Excellent. How you doing? I'll get my Oprah on. You get ready for, I'm getting you ready for the Stellars. All right.
Okay.
All right, so I'm here with Derek D.C. Clark. Derek is a Christian. Derek's a husband. Derek's a father. Derek's a 6-time Stellar Award nominee. Derek's a Grammy winner. Derek is a radio personality. Derek is a music producer, a church organist, and a music engineer. Am I missing anything? Rep writer. Oh, sharecropper, okay.
Sharecropper.
I think we got it. I think we covered it all. Okay. So it's
I mow my own grass too, and edge it. So if anybody needs their grass cut.
And Derek's going to do his own interview. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about your beginnings, the foundation. Let's start with, where did your love and passion for music come from?
My love and passion for music came from the Sunshine Band, being here at Alzheimer Memorials. Emmanuel Temple, Mother McHenry, where is she here? Stand up, Mother McHenry. Help her up. That lovely lady has been here for decades, grooming and nurturing tons of kids that have come out of this church. And she's very integral in my interest in music. And so, yeah, there were some great experiences in the Sunshine Band.
All right, so in the Sunshine Band, so let's talk about some of your mentors.
Some of my mentors here locally, Phil Curry, Valerie Taylor, Michael Cole Sr., Paul Fuller Sr., Crystal Merton. I'm not forgetting here. There are some people. Who? Oh, yes. Brother Brown and Boom Boom Weems, Linton Sr. and Elder Arnold Myers and yes, as well as some of my close friends like Anton and Eric Dawkins and Erica Warren and Fred Hammond, the Jenkins, the gentleman that played the organ when I was so young, they wouldn't let me on. And, Gene McGraw. Oh yeah, totally committed. You weren't my mentor. You were a group that I assisted. I was in a group. We're going to talk about that though.
All right, so let's talk about some groups. Some groups that have inspired you and helped grow your style.
Basically, I grew up listening to C89, the only gospel station that we could hear gospel music on Sundays. Here, give it up for C89. Needless to say, it was Eddie Jones and Dr. David Bowman who refused my music. I didn't listen. I tried to send them music, but they gave me real good counsel and told me, man, you can't play this. And I was heartbroken. I was like, man, you guys are haters. And that I turned into them needed to be hated on. And I'm glad they didn't play it. Needless to say. I'll say that again. Commissioned Fred Hammond, the Winans, Witness. Those are the groups that helped to form my musical palette and how I approach music creation.
That's it, just Commission, Witness, and the Winans? That's all you need?
That was Detroit. I mean, it was Detroit.
Okay.
Thomas Whitfield, yeah, I can't leave him out. Milton Brunson.
Okay, I'll leave you alone.
Okay, did I?
No, you're not. Good. All right, so we've talked a lot about music. So is there anything that you might have wanted to do prior to music? So was there anything you wanted to be besides a musician?
I wanted to be Obama. I wanted to be Obama. Before Obama actually came out.
You wanted to be the first Obama?
I wanted to be the first Obama.
So how did you get your start in music production?
I got started in music. My childhood friend, Jay Thomas, who was born and raised in this church as well, we would collaborate on music, and our parents purchased keyboards so we could make music and junk tracks. And we feel like we were doing something. Finally, the opportunity came for us to go to the Daily Planet with yourself, Heaven Sent Us, the Watsons. Where are they in the Watsons too? I saw there's Starlight. Who else did I work with at the Daily Planet? I can't think of it now. Oh, In Tune to Jesus. And Totally Committed. Totally Committed. That was a cue. So that's how I got my start. And as well, probably the biggest thing that happened for me was me taking a risk and reaching out to individuals, not feeling like if they declined me or refused me that it was going to be the end of my life and I wouldn't be able to recover. So I was refused and rejected, just like everyone else who had aspirations to achieve or arrive at an aspiration. Raina Bundy, who ended up signing, I think she signed you all on Harmony Records, and we did Praising on My Mind. That's a song I wrote with Dawkins and Dawkins and Ants and Dawkins. Raina, she ran, was it Lection Records when it was Lexi was on that label. I think Walter Hawkins might have been on that label. I can't really recall, but I wanted to send her some music, and she said, "Oh, I can't take any music from any non-solicited music, so don't send me anything." So after I got this song with Dawkins and Dawkins, Praising on My Mind, I called her because I had to send something, I guess. You guys were in New York, right? And so, needless to say, you gave me her number, and I called her, and I said, "How you doing, Raina? This is the writer of," I had to turn in some paperwork, "the writer of Praising on My Mind and Love Is You for the Focus album for Dawkins and Dawkins." And she goes, "Oh, I love that. I love it." I said, "Yeah, you love it, but you refused me and you rejected me." She said, "What are you talking about, young man?" I said, "Yeah, when I was a kid and I was upstairs in my parents' attic making music, I tried to sing some music for 1 year. Now, look at God. Won't he do it?" As well, my parents don't know that, like, I was in the house, I wasn't all over the place, like, I don't know. I guess we used to play hide and seek and ride our bikes until like 9, 10 o'clock at night before all this gang activity. My parents didn't have to worry about us, but they didn't always know what music myself and Dion used to listen to. We would like rig these antennas on the radio so we could get radio stations, and oh man, when we moved to Louisiana, we were like in Shreveport here in Houston, Magic 102. This is great. And so, needless to say, I was listening to all formats and genres of music, and so people like Teddy Riley, some of you all might know who that is. If you're fairly, you hear other music outside of the church arena, you know who he is. He was born and bred in the church as well. An artist by the name of, and I'm saying this because this speaks to where I am now. An artist by the name of Genuine. How many of you heard of Genuine? The Bachelor. So on that Bachelor album, some of y'all saying you don't know, but I know you know. Anyway, on that Bachelor album, there was a phone number to a SkyTel pager. It wasn't Genuine's, it was a young man's name by the name of Rob Reeves. And he was the road manager for Jodeci at the time. You know who Jodeci is? Casey and JoJo, Devontae and Doc. So we're talking about this in the church backwards. Anyway, moving right along, I called that number, and Rob Reeves called me back, and he was like, it was a gimmick, man. You called me. Obviously, you have some music talent or gift. I said, I make tracks or whatever. He said, let me hear something. So I played it over the phone. He's like, okay, what are you doing next weekend? I said, I'll be at church, but other than that, you know, he said, all right, I'm going to pay you $3,000 to come out here. I'm going to send you a check for $1,500 right now and book your plane ticket. You want to come? I said, send the money. I'm coming. So, from that, I flew to Detroit, Southfield Music, and I was in the studio with R.J. Rice from R.J.'s Latest Rival. Shackles on My Feet, won't? You know that. I didn't know it, but some of y'all are that age bracket, so you know that song. Brother Cedric, you know what song I'm talking about? What was the title? Won't Let Me Dance. Okay. So, I met a Jewish man by the name of Michael Kaplan that worked at Sony, and Michael signed a plethora of groups, and he took me under his wing. I'm sorry, you wanted to know, I'm telling you. This might help somebody. So, Michael took me under his wing, and you know, as a black person, being an all-timer, you might be able to speak to this. Being outside of your culture, moving into another culture where your skin color has already been typecast, it can create a negative response to you. So I've always gone and been the church boy. Like, that's what they know me at. When I was with Casey and JoJo, somebody tried to give me something to drink or something to smoke. I'm like, man, this is church boy, don't put that in his face. Yeah. So Mike seen that I would not misuse the company's funds, and he would put me on projects. I was young. I'd go and buy a car here and there, and people were like, where are you going? Like, Jay, you remember that? Okay. And so Mike kept me under his wing. This Jewish man, I wore a suit to New York one day. And I'm telling you, this might help somebody. Never try to be bigger than who you are. Come in under. Don't try to go over. If you come in under, people will help pick you up. But when you try to go over, there's people that's going to be like, come back down. You're not there yet. I've been here 40 years. Like, so I wore a suit, a church suit. And worse, y'all remember when that mustard colors and stuff was in? Why did I do that? Where was the counsel? Where was the guidance in that? Don't, listen. If some of y'all got financial arrangements going on with people or transactions in business, don't wear a church suit. Don't wear your church suit. If anything, just wear your button down and some slacks. Is that right? Yes, sir. Okay, 5 minutes. Now, I'm saying this. Michael Kaplan said, Derek, don't ever come in here wearing a suit. Like, don't do that, man. I was like, I thought I was doing a good thing. So, go on with your next question. Y'all can Facebook me. I'll tell you all this for free.
All right, so let's get to the present. Name some artists that you have written or produced for.
Fred Hammond and engineer Yolanda Adams, with my counterparts at 253, Neo, Omarion, T-Pain, Trey Songz. Some of y'all just go right, let that go over your head. Don't even Google it. Tierra Marie, Ziel, help me out. G.I., Ruben Studdard. Who? Day 26, 253. Engineer, Israel Houghton. Engineer, James Fortune. Engineer, John P. Key. Who? Michelle Lang. William James. Dockins and Dockins. The Singletons. No, I didn't. No, we didn't get that together. That didn't work.
So the next question is, 2 artists that you like to work with.
2 artists that I would like to work with. Pretty good. Pretty good question. Hold on. It's coming to me. Give me 5 seconds. 10 seconds. There's somebody I want to work with. No, not Jay-Z. I don't want to work with Jay-Z. I don't know. I just...
Okay, next. So it's a lot of musicians and artists feeling like they have to leave their hometowns to go out and make it. What keeps you here?
My beautiful family. Those 3 girls and my other adopted daughters. Stand up. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't. I love my mom and dad too, so I don't know. But let me say this. I was speaking about Crystal. Stand up, Crystal. I have to say this. I would not be able to do what I do. Anyone who's married to or dating a musician, you know that they're peculiar individuals. Nutty, batty, ignorant. I'm talking about me, I'm saying. But she holds down the home and makes sure that my kids are well attended to, and I don't have to worry about that stuff when I'm out of town. Like, it could be a day that I get a call and I have to fly to LA and leave and come back the next day, and it's just impromptu. But she holds the house down. Thank you. And I want to say one more thing about, because I grew up listening to Fred Hammond, and I'm in the studio with Fred Hammond, and he don't let me do everything I want to do. Let me just say that. But I will say this. I laugh in those sessions because I see the hand of God moving, how he moved me from making noise in my parents' house to telling Fred Hammond when he's off key, or when he needs to sing something again, or no, and he's asking me a question. Derek, what you think about this? And I just bust out laughing. He's like, what are you laughing at? I'm laughing at you asking me what you think. That's funny. That's funny to me. No, that's funny. I grew up listening to that music. He sings those songs you all know, and I get to tell him what to do.
So if there's one word that could sum up your experience so far in your life, everything that you've done, accomplished, you're doing, what would that one word be?
You're not supposed to use this word when you're saying it about you, but I'm saying humility because I don't believe in myself like that. Like, these individuals behind me are phenomenal to me, and I'm yet learning from them. I glean from them, and they keep my ears relevant. They probably don't know it, but I try to tell them little tidbits about that. So it's just me not thinking I know everything and being in a place where I know that when I work on something, every time it's not going to be a home run or a touchdown. I just keep working at it, redeveloping myself, learning my craft and field.
And the last question, parting words of inspiration.
Parting words of inspiration, I would say to individuals who are in this industry, who are aspiring to delve into music production and songwriters. How many songwriters and producers are in the house? Raise your hands, please. All right. Okay. So I would say that don't be more amped up about what you create than the people who have to listen to it and the people that have to buy it or take it in. let them affirm your gift in that sense, in that regard. Because if you are the one saying it, you got all you have is a bunch of basement hits, and you never want to oversell yourself. And finally, there are more gifted people who are far more talented than I in this region. Amen. I'll say it myself. But I know my place, and that God has allowed me to be equipped. And I've grasped so many different elements of this industry, it causes me not to be displaced. And that's in humility. I will say this. When you are moving in this arena, understand that there are politics in this arena, as well as there are exchanges of money. This whole industry is run by money. So I just want to put that out there. We talk about God, but the Bible says money answers all things. And it also says the love of money is the root of evil. I just want to say that so no one gets confused. You have to understand that this industry is not based on talent alone. It's not based on politics alone. So one thing that you can really lean on is God, and stay low and humble so he can go before you and make your ways.
Come on, let's give it up for Monica T.L. Lewis and our honorary Derek D.C. Clark. Thank you so much.